Hello everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. My name is Victoria. I go by Vivi. And today we're doing just a quick simple build on Sims 4. I decided to go ahead and do a cemetery today. And I decided to do the cemetery here on the slot. I believe this was Vlad's slot, the vampire in Strangerville. And I kind of chose this slot in particular because of the graves that you see off on the side. I felt like it kind of fit the vibe that I was going for, which is the cemetery. Um, before we get into the build and before we jump in, just want to remind you guys to make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and to make sure you hit the like and the bell notification so you can get notified for my next builds. Also, this is my first video where I am editing and uploading, and I'm kind of, or not uploading, but doing a voiceover, and I'm really excited because I didn't really know how to do this before. Shout out to my friend. He wanted to stay anonymous, doesn't want his name being said out loud, but thank you for teaching me last night. We were up to like 3 in the morning. He was just showing me the basics. I'm using VideoPad for those who not don't know. Um, but so for this build, I wanted to put in some lot challenges before we went ahead and got into building. And so the first one is spooky. And lot challenges, I wanted to give the cemetery a bit more of a some action, make it more lively. So we also have the Quake Zone, we have Off the Grid, as well as the Gremlin slot trait, because what cemetery isn't a cemetery without the creepy little monsters that lurk behind everything. And then we also have the Cursed and the Creepy Crawlers lot trait as well, or the lot challenge, sorry. So your Sims have a lot to look forward to when they come and visit this grave to see their loved ones. I also just put it as the generic lot trait or lot type because they don't really have a cemetery lot type in The Sims, and then I just named it the basic Strangerville Cemetery. And then you'll see me here putting the barrier around for the cemetery, the stone wall. And I just used the stone wall that came with the new expansion pack, Cottage Living. I do want to note I don't have all of the packs yet. I am still working on getting all of them, but I do have quite a few. I think I have like 12 left out of like 44 something packs like The Sims has. So here you'll see me putting the gate together, making that opening for the cemetery. I didn't really know what fence to use, so I just used the basic metal. Is it metal? I don't even know. Metal fence. I believe it's either Strangerville or um, well, I'm drawing a blank. Strangerville or the other pack. Wow, wow, that is so bad. Moving on. So here you see me grabbing some gravestones, and then you'll see me put that little baby there. And there's a story, legend behind this. It's not an actual baby. So in my Let's Plays, I normally have a cemetery in my Sims backyards for all the Sims, especially if I'm doing legacy challenges. And or if I'm doing like a more of a haunted type of Let's Play, I'll put this baby out on the back. And the baby, so he grew up a very um, hard life. He was born with a rare genetic disease, so he will grow in size and height, and his maturity will grow, but he never stopped looking like a baby. So, he could be a 24-year-old man, but he still looks like a newborn. Well, a lot of people kept, confusing him as being a very oversized baby, newborn, and it made this man very mad. People would not understand that it was a genetic disorder that he was born with, a rare genetic disorder. So all the people that he went ahead and killed, or Sorry, I just like gave her a spoiler. Everybody that had called him a baby, he went ahead and killed. And they say that this man now stands over all of his victims in the cemetery. So it's just a rare genetic disorder. So I kind of in the back, oh, I put like a little I close it off and it said I say like the rocks is what keeps him in that corner, kind of looking over his victims, and he looks over his victims because he doesn't want them to ever leave. He wants them to remember what they did to him and the emotional torment and the mental torment they put him through by constantly calling him a baby and treating him as if he was a baby. So, like, he stands over their bodies for all of eternity. So here you'll see me putting together his little corner. This is will be his rock barrier that kind of keeps him in that secluded area. Um, it's a really creepy urban legend that I like to include in my Let's Plays. And as far as why there is a huge baby statue in the cemetery, I don't really know. Take that and run with it as you will. Um, but that's just the legend behind it. So I got the rocks all put together, and here you'll see me putting up some grass just to kind of hide the rocks a bit and give it that kind of overgrown look, make it look like it hasn't been touched in a while. Um, and then I'm just going to, after this, put down some terrain paint and just kind of give it that muddy look right underneath his feet and just around that whole corner there as well. So you'll see me put that together. I also started putting the victims. I say this with quotation. Excuse me, I burped. I say this with quotation marks. Victims, but those are his victims' graves. Um, so then here I'm just kind of trying to plot out where I'm going to be putting my pathways to all of the areas in the graves. So I have one kind of leading out to where that baby is, so people can walk and kind of, honor all the souls that were lost. And then I have three areas, the in the left side and the back. So those are going to be all older graves. And then the little area down on the bottom right, that's going to be for the newer graves. I also wanted to include the well from Cottage Living, kind of give it that spooky cemetery vibe as well. And then I just went ahead and pulled out some of the gravestones from Debug that were also in Cottage Living, just because they had that older aesthetic looking vibe, and that's kind of what I want for this part of my cemetery. Is I want this part of my cemetery to look very old and look like the graves have been there for quite some time. And I didn't feel like the other graves from like base game, whatever, kind of gave off that vibe. That was more of like modern day type of grave vibe for me. So I went ahead and I just pulled a bunch out, and then you'll see me organizing them, kind of laying them out to how I want. Um, so that's that. My computer screen just went black on me. That was great. I hope this is still recording my voice. I'll be very sad because this is like take number 3. Also, this is very raw footage. Yes, I'm doing a voiceover. Yes, I kind of edited a lot of out of these videos, but my voiceovers are going to be my raw, natural self. I want you guys to know me for me and not like a professional. I need to be on point here type of girl. So if I burp, you're going to hear me burp. If I have an F up, you're going to hear that. I'm not going to edit it out. Voiceovers are going to be raw because I want my videos to be as raw as I can. Um, so here I'm just going and putting down some more graves. I found some really older looking graves. I think that's vampires. That was the name I couldn't think of. Strangerville and vampires. um, and then I'm just kind of looking. So I wanted to put like a little um, building in the cemetery, but I didn't want to put like, your typical I forget the name for it, but your building you go in and you have all your loved ones in there, or it's like that office or whatever. I wanted to put a little shop where people could go in and buy things for their loved ones' graves. I don't really know if this is what it was or what it did. I wasn't really paying attention. I just put one down that looked like a shop. But the goal idea is, they would go and they would buy crystals to put on their loved ones' graves, or potions, whatever your little Sims heart's desire. And then, so I got all the graves laid out. I got pretty much the layout that I want done. So now I'm just going to go in and finish off with some landscaping and finish off with the terrain paint and just add little objects to the front. So here you'll see me putting some bushes. Um, and then I just want to go in and do some terrain paint. I wanted to do like a dirt look in the graveyard, just kind of make it look a lot more run down and grody and grudgy. And um, I didn't want the cemetery to look grassy 100%. I wanted the graves to be in a dirt-ish soil area, so that's what I went ahead and did there. And then I went ahead and put some terrain paint and some built items from cottage living up front. So we have the bunny hole, and then we have the wild flock of bird tree. And then I'm just going in and putting it down some park benches so your Sims can converse with their deceased loved ones when they come and visit them in the cemetery. I do want to note that none of the graves here will have names. If you want to go in and name them, if you can, go right ahead. But these are just kind of older, forgotten Sims that just are laid to rest in the cemetery. And that's basically it for this build. Um, that little empty corner right where my mouse was swirling, that is where you will put your Sims and your Let's Plays. This is up on the gallery. My gallery name, it's Little Misfit 420. And if you can't find me under that, it would be under my EA name, which is Victoria Love 9003. I don't understand why it's done that, but it did, and it made it so I have two names for some reason. But thank you so much for joining my video. I hope you guys liked it. Comment below what your thoughts are, and make sure you are subscribed, and I will catch you all in the next video.